Hello, everybody. Welcome to Erndales. My name is Dale, and this is my YouTube channel, Erndales. I'm so happy to see you. So, today I've got something a little bit different for you. I was working on a small project on the weekend, and it only took me not even a full day to finish this project. And as I was working on it, I thought, oh, this would be something really cute to share with you. I did cross stitch a Christmas ornament in cross stitch using perforated paper. So nothing spectacular about doing cross stitch, but it's the perforated paper part that I thought would be fun to share. I haven't used perforated paper in a long, long time, years. I probably 1979, 80-ish, I was working on perforated paper, but I have not done any since then. So um, it was a treat. It really was. And it went so fast and it was so, I don't know, so rewarding to have a completed ornament that really only needs a back on it that actually looks good without even having the back on, that I thought, this has really inspired me to do some more. And maybe it'll inspire you to get out your stuff and start doing some cross stitch for Christmas. So what I did was, as I was working on this little ornament, I took clips along the way and I did some stills and I put it all together, and that's what's going to come up right now. Here we go. I don't know how well you can see what I'm doing, but today I'm working on an ornament. It's a Christmas ornament. Taking a break from knitting. I found that I've been knitting so much the last week because we've had really rainy weather and I haven't been able to get outside and work in the garden, so I was knitting. And the last couple of nights I've had really bad sleeps because my hands kept falling asleep, and that's a sure sign for me that I've been knitting way too much. So I'm switching gears today and I am doing a little bit of cross stitch. And what I'm working on is an ornament, like I said before, and I'm working on perforated paper. If you're a stitcher, you probably have worked on this, but some stitchers haven't actually done a lot of perforated paper work, but I actually really enjoy working on this perforated paper. It's paper, as you would imagine, and it's already got the holes in it, if you can see. And you work it just the same way as you do on any kind of fabric or linen or any Aida, whatever you work on. But it's really easy because you can't miss these holes. There's nothing to distract your eye from it. The only thing I find is that usually when I stitch my full stitch. So I would go in here, I don't know if you can see this, I would do the half stitch and then I would come back and I would finish that stitch. But I'm finding I did that all the way up here, and if you can see, it didn't cover too well. So I'm finding now, and I think it's been a while since I've done perforated paper, but I'm finding that it's better. I'm finding that it's better to do your row of half stitches and then come back and cross them later. It covers better on perforated paper. At least that's what I'm finding. So this part over here I did by going all the way one way and coming back. Maybe there isn't that much of a difference. Maybe it's just my imagination. But that's what I'm thinking. And I'm having a hard time because I've got the tripod here and I keep hitting it. So it's not very conducive to stitching, but this is what I'm working on today. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Maybe you'll guess. Why don't you try and guess what this is going to be? I don't think you can see my book, so. And I wasn't going to start yet another Christmas ornament because I still have yet to finish any of the reindeer ornaments that I had said I was going to do, even though I will do them. But I got the Christmas Ornament edition of the Just Christmas or the Just Crochet magazine yesterday, and this one ornament just got to me. I looked at it and I thought, oh, that's cute, I got to make it. And I thought, nope, not going to make it. Nope, got lots of things to finish. And what am I doing? I'm making it. But this will go quite fast because perforated paper does work a lot faster if your thread wouldn't knot up like mine always does. So that's what I'm doing today. So I'll take little clips as I go along, and we'll see if we can't finish this in about 10 minutes. What do you think? Wish me luck. So have you figured out what this is yet? I know it looks kind of weird, doesn't it? The one thing that I was thinking about as I've been stitching along here is that I used to always stitch using a hoop or a stretcher frame or something like that. And I don't do that anymore. And I think the reason I don't do it is when I was working on perforated paper like this, you can't actually use a hook or a hoop or a frame or anything like that because it's paper and it'll break if you snap it into something. So you learn to stitch out of hand. And I did quite a bit of this years ago, and I really enjoyed the control of having the piece in my hand as opposed to in a hoop or a frame. And I got so used to it that I don't use a hoop or a frame anymore. I just stitch in hand. And I'd forgotten why I had changed, and I've been reminded since I've been working on this that that's why. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Well, have you figured out what this is yet? I have to admit that I'm teasing you a little bit by purposely leaving areas unstitched and going all over the place. But I'm going to have to start doing the other parts, and as soon as I do, you're going to know exactly what this is if you don't already. It's a lovely little enjoyable stitch this is. I'm having a great time. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. I was reading the instructions about the finishing of this piece, because usually when you when you work with perforated paper, you have to cut right along the edge of the hole above the last stitch, and you usually just leave that raw like that, because you really can't cut any further down, because then you're going to cut into where you've stitched and it'll all unravel. So it is recommended that this be backed with self-adhesive felt, of which I do not have any. And where I live, there's no way I'm going to find any around here. That's not something that's stocked in any stores around where I live. And I'm certainly not going to drive 3 hours to go to the city for some felt. So I looked on Amazon, and they have 40 colors, 40 sheets of 8 by 12 self-adhesive felt for $26. So I have put in an order for that. And even though I think I will use either black or white, perhaps, or maybe gray, on the back of this, I do a lot of ornaments, and I can use that even just on the ones that I do, that I stitch on fabric. So, oh my gosh, my throat is really scratchy. So anyway, I have ordered some of that, and as soon as that comes, which is probably going to be not next week but the week after, I will be able to do the proper finishing of this once I get it stitched, which won't be that long. I have other ornaments that I finished as well that I haven't done the final finish on. I haven't, put the backing on and put the hanger and stuff like that. So I do have a lot of ornaments that I'm going to be working to finish. And that's sort of what I do. I stitch the ornament, and then I just keep putting them in a container until I have a whole bunch, and then I do all the finishing at one time. So that's sort of where I am. Can't see the whole. I don't know what else I was going to say. Oh yes, I do know what else I was going to say. You stitchers out there, do you find that you prefer working a certain side of your work, one side more than the other? And maybe I feel this way because I do stitch in hand, but I really prefer to, I'm a right-handed person, but I really do prefer to stitch on the left-hand side of my piece better than on the right-hand side. I find the right-hand side fiddly somehow. I was just wondering if other stitchers have the same problem, or is it just me? Anyway, I'm going to continue on. I'll take a few photos as I go, and I might come back one more time to talk to you before I reveal the finished product. Hopefully we're still going to get this done in under 10 minutes. We'll see. Well, here we are with our finished project. Well, not finished as completely finished, but certainly the stitching part is finished. And the last thing that we have to do, and I've already started doing, as you can see, is we have to start cutting it out. So we want, I'm going to bring it up a little closer. we just want this one edge as smooth as possible all the way around. This part here will be cut out, and then all the way around, and then in here all the way. So that's what I've started doing. It's not difficult. Just make sure that you have a really good sharp pair of scissors, a good light, and if you wear glasses, make sure they're on, because you don't want to cut into the stitch part itself, like below this line. You don't want to cut into that. So I've started doing that, and I'm going to continue here. And you want to trim all these little knobby things off too. You don't want to see those. Now you can either leave them, leave this color, or you can take you could take a felt pen or anything actually you want to turn it, to color it. I have some ink pens, and I might do that. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I haven't decided. I'm not going to actually even think about that until I get my self-adhesion, however the heck you say that, felt. The one thing that I do not like about perforated paper is the waste. So I like this kind of thing. There's really not much you could do with this. You could make a bookmark out of it, I guess, if you wanted to, but you know, there's a lot of waste with working with perforated paper, and that's unfortunate, because this stuff is quite expensive. And you know, I'm maybe too frugal. I don't like wasting anything, but it is what it is, I guess. You get only two. I have ordered these online. I think I ordered these from 123 Stitch, maybe. I'm not sure. But you get 2 sheets, 9x12 sheets in a package. And I think a package was like $12 or something. So it's quite expensive. And for this little project, it said on the instructions to, see, I went too far there. It said on the instructions to use a piece of 10x10 perforated paper. Well, that would have been over half of a 9x12 sheet. So I didn't do that because I knew that that was going to be way too much. I don't know. I think my piece was 6x5 or something like that I used. But you know, you have to give yourself some leeway, but you have to make sure that you know, you've got enough to finish your piece. But in the other way, you have to also be a little bit frugal in how much you're using, because like I said, this stuff is fairly expensive. So you just go along and you cut like I'm doing. I find it easier to cut the bigger pieces away so that you can actually see where your end piece is going to be. And you keep chopping away at it until you just have like this part up here. You just have one little row. I don't know. On this piece, I think I might leave it because it's going to be a nice little edging for it. And it will be backed, so, you know, I don't know. I guess I'll see once I get my felt. I have one little stitch here that I have to glue down. It wants to come over the edge, and I don't want that. And I certainly don't want to cut into it like I just did. This paper is fairly strong. It's fairly tough. So you really do need a pair of scissors that aren't going to, that are quite, you know, sharp, because you don't want to go to all this trouble of stitching something like this only to wreck it at the end because you don't have the right scissors. So I'm going to continue to do this off camera because I don't want to make a mistake. And that's the finished product. I'll show you it one more time when I get it all cleaned up. Isn't it adorable? And this project came out of this book. This is the new, let's see if I'm going to hold this up a bit. This is the new Just Cross Stitch Ornament book that came in the mail. 2022 holiday issue. And it's just full of beautiful little, there's the car there, or truck. It's just full of beautiful little ornaments to make. So, isn't that just lovely? I took it down and showed my husband. He says, oh, that's for me. And actually, I wasn't making it for him. I was making it for my brother who collects cars. So he says, but I want one. So I guess I'll be making several of these. And I have a feeling once people see them, they're going to want one. So if you have a special man in your life and you want to make him a special ornament, I think this is the one. It's pretty nice. I hope you enjoyed that part. I sure did. That stitching went very, very quickly. So here we go. Here is the finished little truck. Is it not darling? This is a really well designed piece. I mean, the detail is just incredible in it. I left, like I said earlier, I left this outline here of the paper. I'll get real close so you can see it. I left that. I think I'm going to leave it that color because it's a nice contrast to the black. I think it just kind of finishes it off. I'm not too fussed about the holes. Like if you look at it, the coverage is pretty good. There are some holes where you can see, but it's going to have a back on, so that'll close that all up and you won't even see that. But this was a really fun stitch, and the end result is really nice. I'm very, very happy with this one, and I'm going to make more. I have a couple of family member fellows who I know will love this on their tree. So wonderful little stitch. So next I'm going to be going back to finishing some quilting. One of the two babies has been born. It wasn't supposed to be until October, but she came early. Little Olive is her name. She's 2 weeks early. She's doing wonderful, and she's as sweet as can be. So I have to get back to baby stuff. And on that note, I will be going to a tiny little town close here where actually my family comes from. So I'm going to take you with me because the quilt shop is small little quilt shop, but just chocked full of fabric. And hopefully Wayne will let me turn the camera on. But I also will make a couple of stops along the way. So come with me. That'll be maybe later this week. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this inspired you to get out your supplies and make some ornaments for Christmas. It's only 3 months away. It's gonna come fast. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. Bye for now.